welcome. I'm Lloyd, and this is the Dressing Gown Diary review show of the second test. I don't know about you, but on Saturday morning, I was emotionally spent. What a morning it was, and all I can say now is, come on, Lions! It's what the whole of World Rugby wanted. Let's take this down to the 18th. It's 1-1. What a victory. It doesn't matter how you get there. Let's talk about some of the facts. This is the first loss at home New Zealand have suffered since 2009. This is the first home loss at the Cape Tin since 2003. Sonny Bill Williams became the first player sent off in 50 years for the All Blacks and the first ever player sent off in a home match. It's the first loss when New Zealand have failed to score a try since 1998. That's how good the Lions' defence was. It's the first time Lions have won a test match in New Zealand since 1993. The score was 2-0. The Lions get the win that they need and take it to Auckland for the final test. So those are some of the facts. What are the discussion points we want to talk about? Well, the intensity. The Lions came with intensity at the breakdown area that we hadn't witnessed on this tour yet. Players were smashed back. Reid was smashed back 3 or 4 times. Wyn Jones was all over the place hitting people up. Sean O'Brien. The whole intensity that the Lions brought to contact area and defence was another level. You know that your back row players are doing what they need to do when the referee keeps saying, hands off 6. You know he's in there slowing it down. But crucially, he didn't give away the penalties that Vunipola did. He was a walking yellow card. 4 penalties individually and a yellow card. Disaster scenario. Was the first one a penalty? Look, Garces had a very, very tough match to referee. And personally, I thought he played superbly. He made all the right decisions. He made it clear early on, I am not having you slowing down the contact area here. Roll away, hands off the tackler, or I'm going to blow you up. He did it in the first 2 minutes to New Zealand straight away, and he was consistent throughout the game. The players knew what were expected of them, and it was up to them whether they step over the line, which Vunipola was caught out from. The second thing that was a crucial element for the Lions, it absolutely bucketed it down. That's what the Lions wanted to see. It meant New Zealand had to tighten up. There's no question they had to do that as soon as Sonny Bill Williams was sent off because they had to play a much tighter game. But the first 20 minutes, it was nip and tuck. Neither team really able to get a stranglehold in the game, but really going at it hammers and tongs. This was a test match of superb intensity, but what it lacked in skill, it made up for in passion and effort from both teams. Now, I will cite this quote. It is a quote from Lawrence Delalio. He said the game on Saturday showed generosity that no one had ever seen before from both teams. Generous to the Lions to keep giving away penalties, and even more generous of Beauden Barrett to keep missing those penalties. Crucial talking point. He left 9 points out there. I mean, the All Blacks, between the 30 and 60 minutes after Sonny Bill Williams was sent off, they really were superb. They played with direction, they kept the ball tight, they knew they lacked a player, and they were eking out penalties from the Lions that they were only too happy to keep giving away. It was the most frustrating thing to watch. You knew that the Lions just had to keep their head, but they kept coming up with brain farts and giving away stupid penalties. I mean, the penalty count will wind Gatland up no end. This created a situation where a game was much, much tighter than it really needed to be. All they had to do was keep their discipline. I mean, there's a debate of whether taking Kano off was the right call and keeping a full back division. I think it was a bad call, and the result was that the All Blacks lost. But Kano brings intensity at the breakdown. So is it better to slow the ball down in the breakdown, or is it better to have a full back division? Certainly Gatland held his nerve, though, with some of the big calls, the debate about whether Sexton and Farrell worked well together. Personally, I think that debate is still live. They played well in attack in parts, but in defence they were poor. New Zealand throwing big ball runners down that 10-12 channel, running over Sexton. He didn't have a good game in defence. But Gatland kept his nerve with the bench. He was confident that he had the right players on and was rewarded with the interplay between Jamie George and then Murray to score when both of them could really have come off. The Lions also executed, which they hadn't really done, their execution and accuracy. They scored 2 great team tries. Let's not forget, Toby Faletau's try was scored when it's 14-14 because Vinopola was off on the pitch. The Lions were staring down the barrel. It was 18-9 with 60 minutes on the clock, and they couldn't really find a way into it. And then suddenly the intensity increases, accuracy of passing. I mean, Farrell to Liam Williams and Liam Williams to Faletau. There's no question that was a superb finish by Faletau. Israel Dag will be disappointed, but he more than made up for it the week before when he stopped Elliot Daly scoring. Faletau was having none of that. Bit of a step, and I'm smashing through you. Superb finish. The Warburton as well slowed things down constantly, as I mentioned previously. Anytime you hear hands off 6, you know he's doing the right job. Davis, he looks like a hot knife through butter at the moment. I don't know why the All Blacks can't stop him, but every time he gets the ball, he seems to be getting over the gain line. So the All Blacks are left with big questions about what they do. Ultimately, in the Dressing Gown Diary preview show of Friday, I went, my head tells me All Blacks by 20, but my heart tells me the Lions by 2. I mean, no one was to foresee that Sonny Bill Williams would be sent off after 20 minutes. 100% the right decision. But the Lions really brought intensity and accuracy and were thoroughly deserving of their win. It might only be 3 points, but it doesn't matter. The series is still alive, and we're dragging New Zealand into a 1-game knockout that they won't fancy as much. They wanted to have this test series done and dusted. But look, we'll look forward to the next test. I'll come back to you on Thursday, Friday. But for now, this is the Dressing Gown Diary. My voice just about returning. Over and out.